Today we're going to talk about how to be a copywriter in 2025. This video is going to give you a lot of clarity and a lot of action steps because I have a whole presentation with graphics and drawings, and it's going to give you frameworks on how to approach AI, how to find companies that are spending money on ads. There are 3 different ways to get a lot of repetitions fast and become a pro at this stuff. And also there's no leopard branding approach that I use to get copywriting clients from social media without ever sending a sales DM. But now I have to warn you because a lot of you guys are going to get discouraged because in this video, I'm really going to tell you the things that gurus are not telling you, but you should know. And they don't tell you because 2 reasons. 1, they don't know about it because they're not in the trenches like I am. Or 2, they don't want you to know. Anyways, let's cut to the chase and let's get to it. Be a copywriter in 2025. In a second, I will show you why that is the wrong question to be asking yourself if you're starting out now. But before I get to that, my name is Eric and I've been doing this stuff for about 4 years now. I was just doing the math before I filmed this video, and I work with about 35 of these kind of clients, 7 and 8 figure personal brands online. In fact, one of my clients just received the $100 million award by ClickFunnels like a few weeks ago, as you can see it here. I don't tell you this to brag, but just to show you that I just might have an understanding of the things that I'm about to share with you right now. Like, this is not something I learned from getting one client last month and then deciding to share it. This is something I've been doing for years, and it's how I would do it if I had to start all over again. Anyways, so how would I work myself up to the same position I am today with no skills and no connections? By the way, guys, before I get to that, this book right here, it would be something I would definitely get if I was starting out. It's called So Good They Cannot Ignore You. It's how to acquire so many skills and become so good at what you do that the world cannot avoid but to reward you financially with freedom or status, whatever it is that you want. So now you are right here right now, or I am right here right now if I was starting out, right? Like, the main problems I have is I have no skills. Everybody's a copywriter these days. I am confused as heck. Like, I really don't know where to start. Should I buy a course to buy? How should I learn copy? What skills should I learn? What are people hiring for? And then this is the other one. This is the biggest threats to copywriters right now, especially those that don't know what I'm about to share with you. And it's that AI writes faster and cheaper than you, right? A lot of business owners are realizing that, hence why they might not be hiring copywriters as much as they used to in the past. So let's talk about the path, right? But before we get into that, I had to explain something real quick, which I thought about it like just before starting this video. And it's like, there's 3 types of ways to gain experience in this industry. The way I see it, one is in-house. So finding an in-house position as a copywriter. And there are pros and cons to each path. But in-house is pretty much where like company is looking for a full-time copywriter and they will need you for 30, 40 hours. And you get a paycheck every single month. You don't have to worry about clients. These in-house positions, they vary, anywhere between 2, 3K, 5K, all the way up to 10K, depending on experience. The main thing here is that you will not be learning how to get clients. Like, you will not be learning how to sell because you might get comfortable and you don't need to get clients. That's the thing. It's like you are in-house. But the pros of an in-house position is that depending on the company that you kind of land, you start with, they might have a lot of resources that you wouldn't have access to if you were to start as a free agent, like somebody who does it on their own. Like an example of this is like some of these companies might have a CMO that has scaled a bunch of companies and you're working directly with that person, and it will cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars to get mentored by this person if you were to do it on your own. Or they might be in mentorship programs that allow you to learn paid ads, learn, whatever skills, funnels, business skills. But these companies have access to, or maybe the owner too is a badass marketer and you have free access to this person. It's somebody who's really smart in the industry. Like, for example, if you were to get an in-house position with Hormozy, like, I'll fucking take it, even as I am right now, just to learn from Hormozy, to acquire skills, see how they think, because I know that I might be sacrificing income in the short term, but in the long term, I'm acquiring skills that will pay me far more than if I was just to, get a 3K client, 5K client to write emails for. So that's in-house. The other one is agency. Agencies, guys, are when these guys have clients and all you have to do is like fulfill their services that they are selling. So it's a lot of reps. This one, the pros and cons of this one. So cons is that you might get overworked because, again, you don't have leverage, and these agencies will work you to the bone, and they will squeeze everything, like they will squeeze the juice out of you. Let's just put it that way, because they have clients and they need to hit deadlines, and you have to fulfill it, right? Now the pros is that if you are new, dude, you might get access to trainings that you will have to pay thousands and thousands of dollars for, right? To learn. And and you also get so many freaking reps. Because this game, bro, is just like anything else, like playing a sport. Like it's a game of repetition, and the more reps you put in, the better you become. Now, this right here this too is how I got my start. I gotta be honest with you. This too is how I got my start, and then slowly I had to like learn prospecting and getting clients and sales. And with the agency I started, dude, I got very lucky that it was with one of my mentors. The dude is he's a millionaire now. But what he was like, he was really well connected with, you know, a lot of the best course creators in the space. So every client that he would get would immediately boost my status as a copywriter. And like I said, again, it's a lot of reps, and also like the association bias, right? Because if you work with this agency, you might get to work with clients that you wouldn't have access to, right? And for example, like this agency had access to clients like Ryan Sarhan. If you don't know who that is, he's a celebrity and kind of people that I was writing for when I was the agency. But again, I got very lucky that I was the first copywriter there. So we started that thing as a startup. Very mindful of the things I'm telling you here. Now, the other way is free agents. This is pretty much when you decide to do it on your own. There is pros and cons to this. You will be forced to learn to prospect and how to get clients. And that's a skill that will serve you forever. But the main con is that you are on your own, which means that you have to pay for trainings. If you lose a client, you have to replace it tomorrow. And you might find yourself with no clients for a while because you are new and you're trying to break into the industry. And as a new copywriter, you are at risk to every business because you're not proven, they don't know you. Maybe you need a lot of coaching or hand holding to get something done, and business owners don't have that time. So like free agents will acquire the skill of getting clients. You would eventually get reps, but of course it takes time. But again, all these three ways are good. Depends on who you are, your personality, and how you are. But again, like I said, pros and cons to everything. And it's not as a black and white. Like not one is better than the other. It's just that, you know, it depends on who you are. All right, now let's get into the meat and potatoes of this. So the path, right? Like the kind of clients that you're looking for. So the path is that my dream clients can afford me, right? Like that is pretty much the main thing. Number two, they can keep me on retainer. And number three, they see me as a trusted advisor, not just a dude who writes, right? Those are the main three things that I want a client to do. Now, this one right here is up to you and I on how we present ourselves and the knowledge that we acquire and how good we are at what we do. So this is not up to the client. But of course, you don't want to work with disrespectful people. That's what I'm saying. Like if you are working with somebody and they don't want to do the emails or the VSL angles or write or do an offer the way you're saying, you know, like they might not want to follow your advice because you're a newbie, but you know, like you don't want to work with an asshole. That's what I'm saying. Now, for that to happen, dude, I found 3 traits that every client that will be able to pay you and afford you and keep you around have. So 3 traits, right? Number 1, they're spending money on ads. They have an offer. They have a sales team. So the spend money on ads thing, dude, is like if they are spending money on ads, that means that they are in a growth mindset, and therefore they will not be like hesitant to invest in your services. They're not spending money on ads and they are like afraid in survival mode. Oh, dude, it's going to be very hard to persuade somebody like that to spend money to give you 3K, 5K and keep you on retainer, right? Now, above all, these 3 things right here is what I'm aiming for as a copywriter these days. But when you're starting out, you have to take some crappy jobs, I'll tell you that, just so you can get some reps, because that's the main thing you want. You want to get some reps so you no longer represent the risk that you might be to a business owner. So kind of think about it like this, right? So if we were to put this in a chart, this is risk, this is the risk that you represent, and this is the reps that you have, right? So the more reps you put in, as a beginner, you are right here. So it's a lot of risk because you have no reps. But the more reps you put in, so the more this moves to the right, is the less risk you represent to a business, right? So the more reps, more years in the industry, the less risky you are to a business owner. So that's the main thing I would be aiming for if I was new, like try to get as many reps as possible. So like get better and get the track data of your results and how you're doing as a copywriter so people can and want to work with you. Like I said before, you're gonna take some crappy jobs. Some people might be assholes. That's how you learn. That's a good thing, man. You're learning, right? Do not be so hard on yourself, especially if you're new. So if they don't have these 3 things, what you will learn, I guarantee you that you're going to find people that don't have this. And this is what you will see. So they will expect you to save their business. They will expect you to come in as a copywriter, and your skills alone will save their company. They will expect you to create them an offer, prove it, and sell it, right? And that is just not possible. So the more you learn about marketing, copy is just a tiny % of the conversion process. You know, there is media buying, there is offer creation, there is how you do the design, there is how the setters handle the leads, there is how the closers are handling objections. Because dude, I've had experiences where I've been bringing them sales calls to the client, but the setter team or closing, the sales team were like not good, and the business owner would blame it on my copywriting skills, right? And that's the main thing I'm trying to avoid. So that's why I need these companies to have these 3 traits, because if they have this, I'm not producing the results, all right, it is on me. But if they don't have this, dude, I don't know, because it might be the offer, it might be the sales team, or it might be me, right? But they will always blame it on you because they're paying you directly. That's the problem. So even if you produce like great copy for these clients, it won't make an impact. That's the thing I was saying before. Like, even if your copy is amazing, dude, but if the offer is crap, it won't sell. I had experiences before like this. Like, I had companies, right? Like, I had this one in particular where I took them knowing that they didn't have this, but I needed the money. Freaking rookie mistake. And of course, like, you have to do what you have to do, man. And I wasn't the best at handling this situation, so I take full responsibility for it. But it was a situation where, like, dude, I would have nightmares before hopping on meetings with them, like the day before, because I didn't want to be in that meeting, because they were always on edge. They were always kind of angry and blaming my copywriting skills. Not directly, but kind of like hinting at that I was a bad copywriter. And dude, that was hitting my confidence. But here's what happened, dude. In that process, one of my referral partners sent me this other offer to write for. This company was a BSOP. They were spending money on ads. They had an offer and they had a sales team. Same guy, same writing skills, right? Just different company with these 3 things. First month, I believe we make them 50K. Second month, we hit 100K. And eventually we had like a $500,000 weekend with copy. But that's what I'm saying. I was thinking I was a bad copywriter. But again, it was just that this thing, I just didn't know that these 3 things were the main things that I needed for a company for my copy to produce and being able to sustain them long term. I had this before, but like, it's a warning. I mean, if you already watched it here 16 minutes in, you don't need to know this, but it's like, this is not going to be easy. Let's dive. How do you find companies that are spending money on ads? It's pretty simple, dude. As a new copywriter, like, without the thing I'm focusing here with no skills, it's not even landing these clients. It's more like learning how to good copy works, so I can at least decrease the risk a little bit whenever I present my offer to them. Because even if I find these good companies spending money, I'm still a massive risk for them to hire me. Because I'm unproven, I don't have the skills, and dude, I mean, you can be a loose cannon, right? So here's the main thing I'm focusing here. Again, just finding good copy. That's the main thing that I'll be focusing for in this section. So let them find you, so you let these companies find you. The way you do that is you install this Chrome extension called My Ad Finder, and it's a spy tool. And what it will do is it will collect every single ad that is hitting your profile on Facebook, and it will show it to you like this, right? And this will allow you to start building your swipe file of good copy and proven ads that you can start to model, so you can get some reps pretty fast. Like, I was just doing this before this video, and check this out. I found this winning ad. Number 1, I can study the copy, the body copy, right? I have a piece of copy that works right here. Number 2, I have the script of the video, right? And also I have the landing page of the offer. And if I had opted into this offer, I'll also have the emails. So I'll have access to the entire funnel of this offer, and that's how I'll start like to reverse engineer, so I can start acquiring skills. So again, so I'm like lowering the risk that I am to these companies for them to hire me. So this goes down, right? The more knowledge and reps that I get. So how do I know when one of these ads is a winner? So this is pretty simple, right? So I'm looking at the views, I'm looking at engagement. One thing you have to know about Facebook ads and ads in general is that media buyers are hired to make money for these companies. And media buyers are pretty analyticals. They are the day traders of the marketing space. So they're not stupid. They will not spend money on something that is not working. So that means that if an ad is not producing after 3-5 days or whatever the benchmark is, or maybe the amount of money they put in the ad, if it's not producing, they kill it. But if it's getting above 500,000 views, this is telling you that this video or this ad in general has a lot of money, like has a lot of ad spend in it, and they are just willing to, pay this much to reach this amount of people, and it's producing results, it's getting leads, it's getting sales, and that's the main thing I'm looking for here. But again, right, so the main focus of finding ads, finding companies that are spending money on ads, like I said before, study their copy, start winning copy, and also start kind of getting an idea for who the top players are, and also the kind of companies that I would like to work with to potentially reach out and later stages when I have like my skills dial in, right? But this is just so you get familiar with the industry. Now, the other way to get these companies that are spending money on ads is to go to this website called myip.ms. And for people who want to do BSOP or coaching companies, the kind of clients that I work with, just go in this website and you're going to type in this thing. And what it does is it will pull then all the websites that are hosted within ClickFunnels. It will show you something like this. I did it for Shopify. This is for the e-com dudes, right? Like if you type in this IP address into here, it will show you pretty much every single store that is within Shopify, and like this from top, from the amount of traffic that they're receiving, how popular they are, and will give you an idea too, like for what are the big dogs doing, so you can start acquiring those skills and learning copy, right? Like that is the main idea here. But again, as you acquire the skills, you will know who the top players are, and you kind of will know how to go to them, or what companies to go to make them an offer. And by the way, this thing is about to die, my mic, so forgive me if it dies in the process. Now that we know what companies are spending money on ads, and I'm starting to build my swipe file and also get an idea for the kind of clients that I'm gonna be working with and what are the top companies doing that I can be doing for my clients. Next thing I'm gonna do is yield acquisition and max velocity with AI. So the old way to learn copy, dude, was that you became the next Hemingway. Like your value as a copywriter was that you could write so freaking good, dude, that people were hypnotized. So you had to understand marketing and writings, and that took freaking time. So, but the problem was that, the way I see that right now, and especially with how AI and all these tools are around, is it optimizes you for labor, but AI, dude, took that away. Like your selling proposition was that I'll write you a VSL. I'm a writer, I can write. But that is just labor. And the way I think about copywriting these days is that you cannot think about it in labor terms. You can never think about this thing in labor. It's not about I'll write you 5 emails, I'll write you VSLs, I'll write you a funnel. Because labor, dude, AI can do that over and over again. So, the best way to explain this thing is in construction terms. Back when I was in high school, I took a construction job for 2 days, bro. And at 10 a.m., bro, I was dusted. I was full of dirt. And I was dead tired. And I was wearing my freaking construction shoes. They weighed 30 pounds each. And by 11 a.m., dude, I was freaking done. And I was at that point where I was about to go to college, right? And there was this dude that would come around. He was very polished, always drinking his Starbucks, wearing a one of those fancy vests. And this dude was the engineer. This dude was the guy with the blueprints. And I was with the people who were doing labor, right? I had to work every day. And this is the same thing that we have to think about copywriting. Labor is not about labor. It's about being the guy with the blueprints. It's about being the guy who understands marketing and then using AI to be a tool that does labor for you so you can grow fast. By the way, I kind of got mixed up here and I put X in terms of instead of check marks. So instead of learning to or optimizing to become the next Hemingway, what I would say is optimize for change. Learn how to use AI, learn how to use prompts, and become so good at prompting that whenever you produce something, bro, it sounds like a human wrote it and you can mirror voices so easily. So traditional copywriting models were built on this idea, bro. Again, you had to become Hemingway or you have to become Gary Halbert. And again, dude, I'm not saying don't learn how to write. I'm a good writer and that has served me greatly. But what has served me even more is just thinking. It's just being the guy that understands marketing and being able to communicate ideas better. So yes, learn how to write, but do not make it the main focus. Do not spend an entire year learning how to write these words in a cute way. Because AI can do that for you if you know what buttons to push. And that's the main thing I'm saying here. So new way, learn prompts. And again, the way you got to think about this is copy engineering. So Because like, you know, most emails, and as I will show you some examples here, like most sales letters, emails, VSLs, they all follow predictable frameworks. Like it doesn't matter what they say, it's always blocks. It's always beginning, middle, end, and that's it. And all you have to do is learn what to say in those blocks. So what does it look like to be like learn this copy engineering thing I was telling you? So first, you will like start collecting winning ads like this, like I showed you before, and you will do your best, but hopefully this doesn't die, but do your best to reverse engineer winning ads, viral content to extract the framework. So it's the skeleton under a winning ad, a winning VSL, a winning sales letter. So the next skill is like learning how to train the AI to write in a very specific voice. If you go to ChatGPT right now, I don't know if you read or whatever, but like get familiar with some type of writer that you enjoy. And ask ChatGPT to write something as you will write it, right? Like a quick message to somebody, but then ask ChatGPT to write it in the voice of somebody else. And it will do an amazing job. Like, or just try like a comedian, for example. Sometimes when I want to write a funny ad, I just ask ChatGPT to help me write it in the voice of Dave Chappelle, right? Because I want to be polarizing, I want to be funny and snappy, and it does an amazing job at that. So again, that's a skill that you are going to be learning with AI. What I will learn these days, right? So reverse engineer frameworks and then learn to train the AI to write in a very specific voice, okay? And then the next thing is understand consumer psychology. So you can direct the AI so you know what goes where, right? So bottom line, dude, is just understand framework. And as I will show you an example here, this is an email that is a sales email, right? And this is the subject line. This is the opening or the lead. This is the body, and this is the call to action. So the framework here is subject line. Then you have the lead, body, and call to action. So you see you see the blocks, how each block is right here. So do you think you can go to ChatGPT and be like, all right, this is a subject line. Can you give me 5 or 10 of these subject lines that I can use for this email? I mean, it's pretty simple. Now, this right here is like legit. This is the most important part of the entire sales messaging. Is like if people don't read the first sentence, like they won't read anything. So this right here is like get really good on understanding what a good hook or a good lead is. So you can go to ChatGPT and be like, hey, can you write me a lead that looks like this, right? So you can fill in the blanks. So say that you're writing an email. So all you have to do is kind of create this thing here, these blocks. And then you go to ChatGPT, Lex, or Claude, right? And then use it to fill in the blanks. Bam, bam, bam. And then make like your skill should be to train the AI to look as much as possible as this or better than what you have here. So find something to model and then try to replicate it with AI, and then you are a copywriter. But you see what I'm saying? Like labor these days, or it's like labor or just learning to write like Hemingway or the way that the old copywriters used to like teach it. It's kind of like becoming irrelevant, man. Because dude, and the more intelligent the AI becomes, bro, like like the more irrelevant it will become to be a writer, because AI can do that for you. You know what I mean? It's kind of scary, but man, this is the times we're living in, and instead of resisting it, we have to optimize for it. All right, so like I said before, learning writing. So if you had to learn writing again, so study what already works. Instead of like, I will just read one copywriting book, 2 copywriting books. I will understand framework and what like the principles of good copywriting. But then I will just study like what is working online right now. So what that looks like is viral TikToks, YouTube videos, Instagram Reels. Extract their transcript and study structures of their hooks, right? Identify the pattern of viral content, use AI to break it down, and then feed transcript into AI and ask it to identify the underlying framework, like I said before, and then create plug and play templates. So if you want to learn how to write fast, this is how I would do it. And the reason why I wouldn't like start with emails or sales letters is because with emails and sales letters, you will never know if they are working unless the marketer shows you the data, right? Unless they pull up the active campaign or their Hyros or their Facebook ads dashboard, you will not know if that thing is working. So what I like to do is validate it using kind of like social proof or by how the world is interacting with that piece of. So the easiest way to do that is by looking at content that is already published and that is already doing well, because if a TikTok or a Reel or a YouTube video is taking off, For that to happen, dude, there had to be a pattern interrupt. Somebody had to be getting attention from somewhere, and this marketer or video producer was able to keep their attention. So they are using principles that you can steal for your copywriting. Like one of the best examples of great copywriting that you have right now is like Mr. Beast. And this is a type of hook that gets anyone, or that you can also model for your clients. It's like, I spend 100 hours in a prison cell with sharks. I mean, that doesn't make sense, but like it's kind of like, and I know this thing died, so my sound might be shot for the entire video. I'm sorry, but if you're 38 minutes in, you are an OG, and this thing let us down to. Anyways, so with that headline, with that title, or what that YouTube title is doing, it's getting attention. But you see what I'm saying? If you study one of his top performing videos, put it into ChatGPT, handwrite them, study the framework and underlying skeleton of it. Like that will teach you more about copywriting than a book that was written in. Oh, that's all I'm saying here. So take an email, reel, VSL that is working really well, right? But again, I'm more biased towards taking TikToks and reels because you can see the data that is compared to a VSL where they have to, right? So take a working email, take something that is working. So you have one right here, and then get the framework, and then just learn to replicate it 1, 2, 3 times all over, right? And you just change the underlying idea. So if this video or this TikTok was talking about health, right? And it was talking about back pain, how can you duplicate that framework to talk about business? Or how can you duplicate it to talk about whatever your client does? The main thing you're extracting is the psychological principle behind that piece. All right, so dude, I had some visuals here that disappeared, which was like I had an X-ray because AI, the principle I'm telling you to do with AI is like X on an ad. No worries. All right, so now, dude, we get to the point of getting clients. So again, at this point, I'm learning cold outreach. That's what I'm doing right now. But I haven't had the need to learn it, and the only reason why I'm learning it just so I can speak about it from a point of experience. Otherwise, I'll be talking about it from a point of ignorance, and I don't like to be in that position because the only way I get clients right now is through my personal, and I haven't had a need to actually because I stay busy and I don't take more work than what I have right now. But the way I've done it is using the snow leopard branding approach. And it's getting clients in no needy way. So a personal brand for a copywriter, especially for a beginner one. And I'm assuming, right, because the main thing, if you stay with me for 33 minutes or longer, I'm assuming that you want to be in this industry for the long term. The only reason or the only kind of like argument to this of you not wanting to build a personal brand, and kind of like the reason why I didn't want to do it in the beginning, was that I was in it for a quick cash grab. If I just want to make a few $1,000 and in the next 90 days and then disappear and then go do something else, maybe a personal brand doesn't make sense, right? But if you're somebody who wants to learn this skill and be around over the next 10 years, maybe not as a copywriter, because copywriting is just a skill in your tool belt that you will use with the combination of other skills like design, product creation, and sales to do something else. Maybe it's to scale your agency as a copywriter, or to build a SaaS business, or do an app, whatever it is, man. Like copywriting is something that you can take and dude, it will take you so many places. Once you learn it, dude, you can replicate it across different business models. Like every great business owner out there, they were great copywriters, most of them, or great marketers, at least great marketers. But there's this guy, man. His name is Naval Ravikant, and he's one of the best thinkers out there, and one of the guys that have about marketing and about business and about life too. So what he says is that to build wealth, you have to embrace accountability and taking risks under your own name, because society will reward you with responsibility and equity and leverage. And one example I have here is like Nestle, or whatever how you pronounce this. And so if you were thinking about investing money right now, if I tell you, man, you gotta invest money and you have two options, you can do Nestle or you can do Tesla. You will immediately kind of be biased towards Tesla, even though Nestle might be a company that's been around for decades. And the reason is because Tesla has somebody behind it who has taken public accountability and has taken a risk publicly and has said, dude, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put rockets in Mars. I'm gonna catch rockets with machines, and I'm also going to build XYZ. And he has done it, right? He has done it publicly. So as a result, we can trust him to the point where he's part of the US government now. Like presidents trust with things like that. So it's like the more risk you can take under your own name and the more public accountability you embrace, it's like the more opportunities will flow. So it's the same thing with getting clients from your personal brand online. So that's why, like, personal brand today is a non-negotiable. And to be honest, man, it's like everyone has a personal brand. A personal brand is pretty much how people know you. If they know you as a shy person, if they know you as the life of the party, if they know you as the drunk guy or the party girl or whatever it is, that is your personal brand. But online, you have a choice on how to, and even in real life, like, you have a choice right now to work on your personal brand and your personal image and how people perceive you, right? So that is the main thing that we're coming from when it comes to personal branding online. So the wrong way to build a personal brand is it's not just about creating a Twitter account or an Instagram account and just telling the world that you are a copywriter or that you write content about the importance of headlines, or try to teach people, try to educate them about the importance of having a landing page. This goes for every single freelancer out there. It's not about showing why a website's important. It's not about that. It's not even about that, because people don't go on social media to like learn things. They go there to be entertained, and maybe get some value. So here's how to do it the right way. So think about it like the snow leopard. This guy right here, he's calm, cool, and collected. And most importantly, this dude, when there is snow, he blends in, right? And that's your personal brand. That's how you want to be. What I mean blend in is that you want business owners or people who will be hiring for this position, whether it's media buyers or funnel designers, people who can have your clients. You want them to see you in their same level as them. You don't want them to see you below their level. Because if they see you below their level, then the power dynamics change. And dude, there is where you find yourself competing with other copywriters, and that's what you don't want to do because there is just too many of them. So, all right. So one thing I gotta mention is that I chose to build my personal brand on Facebook. And the reason why I did that is because a lot of the kind of clients that I work with, they consume content on Facebook and they go there to network, and some of their communities that they're part of, they are right there. So why would I go on Instagram when they're not there? Why would I go on LinkedIn where they're not there, right? So for you, I don't know what a platform will be. It will depend on what niche you're going for, but choose the platform, and this all applies in it's like, look at the kind of business owner that you're trying to network with and connect with, and you have to blend in. You cannot be a copywriter. And I'm gonna show you two examples in a second. So this dude right here, he's not a copywriter, but he is a business owner. And he's one of the dudes that I admire a lot, and he will be part of my Dream 100 too. Like, I would love to work with. His personal profile, he doesn't scream business or I'm here to pitch you anything. It just very professional. Cover photo says nothing. A cool photo, and then here it's a little bit about what he does. He's not doing this right here, this is a traditional copywriters looking for persuasive emails, copy that converts. DM me now to make it. Email copywriter, their name. And that's what I'm saying. I mean, if the person that I took a screenshot from is seeing this, I'm sorry I did that, but like, you can benefit. But again, like, I bet that nobody has ever reached out. There's just too many of them. The contrast here is like, what I really want when somebody sees my personal brand on Facebook or Instagram is like, I want people to feel that I am one of them, that I am busy, and that they can benefit from being in my network. And that is the main thing. That is what the no-needy way of getting clients. Let me ask you a question, right? If you were on Facebook and there is like your favorite entrepreneur of all time, or your favorite celebrity, and say that this is the page, right? Or Instagram, whatever that is, and they send you a DM, and you don't know what the DM is, but you see the bubble and their name, hey, just send you a message. What would be your perception, right? Like, what would be your perception if it was like something out of nowhere that just came across your inbox? Like, the main question that would go around your mind is like, oh my God, this person DM me, right? Like, wow, what is going on? Or you'd be curious, intrigued, and then you open it out of curiosity, maybe also out of excitement, especially if this person is just like you, right? Now, if you see this person right here send you a DM, like, the main thing that will go through your mind is that, here we go, man. This dude is going to pitch me his marketing services. And dude, I don't want to read that right now. And I'm going to tell him no. I might even get angry, right? Because I ain't getting pitched. Some people do it the wrong way sometimes, right? So that's the main thing, is like changing how people perceive you, how they receive you, how they receive your personal brand, right? So that's the main thing here. I'm going to dive a little bit into content creation and what to post and what not to post. So what not to post, you don't want to be teaching, right? You don't want to be teaching at the beginning. I know, like, as a copywriter, you will have a lot of lessons to, but don't teach, because when you're teaching something, for a piece of content where you are teaching, there has to be an acceptance that you are better than them, right? There has to be an acceptance that you have more knowledge than them. And a lot of business owners, dude, they have massive egos and they will never accept that you're better than them. So they will never, that content doesn't always hit the right spot unless you're actually better than them. What I'm saying here is that if you have an entrepreneur that is making, like, let's say $10 million a year, and then you are right here trying to teach about how life works or how business works, he will not engage with you. However, if that same entrepreneur was a 10 million, but you are the CMO of a $100 million company and you're teaching the lessons on how one funnel took you from 10 to 20 to 50 million dollars a year, bro, that entrepreneur is going to be paying attention to your content, even if you're teaching, but it's just because they subconsciously accepted that you were better than them, and they know it and they see it too, right? So that's the main reason why you want to stay away from teaching. There is a way to teach that I usually use, which is soft teaching, and that you do that through storytelling. So I tell a story about my daily, and embedded, I will teach something, but more about that in the future. No stock images, never use stock images, dude, because again, we want to like stay away from that image of that perception that you are just a marketer or just a copywriter who has no clue what they're doing. So anything that sounds like AI, dude, don't do it. Don't do it, man. Don't do it. And I know that I talk about how like you can use AI to sound like a human, but again, it's like the goal is to make copy or write copy that sounds like, and that is a skill. It's not about slapping something and then tossing it out to the audiences where it's ChatGPT all over. Because if people see that you write like with ChatGPT, like that is part of your brand, right? That is part of your brand and the perception too. Like they want to see real humans interacting with real humans. That's it. You know what I'm saying? So content pillars, dude. So with these content pillars that I'm gonna give you, there is a lot of subconscious selling that you're doing to pre-sell people even before they hire you. Like even before the transaction of money is being done, like the decision has already been made that you are an expert, that you can be trusted. And like I said before, let me go up and up to find this thing. It's like this. With content, you can decrease the risk by kind of like communicating, kind of like subliminally communicating that you're not at risk. That you're not at risk to the company. Anyway, so let's get back to this thing. Where is it, brother? All right, so for content pillars, we have 3 content pillars right here that I usually like to post content about. So number 1 is hobbies, so showing people that I am a human. Number 2, documentation of whatever I am learning, and then pillar number 3 is expertise. So for hobbies, dude, this is how people bond over in real life, right? Like you go to the gym and you can have great conversations with people about freaking protein and macros and hitting PRs at the gym and just good form. Or maybe you play tennis, or maybe you kind of like guns or cars. Like you can actually bond with people like that. So talk about your hobbies, right? Things that you enjoy to do. Documentation, what you're learning about right now, just talk about it. An example of this is like if you're learning about, let's say, AI, talk about it. You know, just show the results and what you're learning, some tips, things like that. Try not to teach. Again, avoid teaching. It's just more about your experiences. Expertise, right? So make observations. This is not about saying that you're better than anybody else. Like, this is not about saying, hey man, I am the #1 copywriter in the world, because you might not be it unless if you're watching, bro. Thank you for watching. But the way you show expertise is by making observations about the world that other people haven't been able to do. Kind of like help the reader make connections they haven't been able to make. So seeing things that others can't see, that's the main thing there. Drawing parallels that make people feel smart, kind of like helping them have aha moments with your content. An example here is the concept of the snow leopard, which is like, you know, the snow leopard blends in, and that's kind of how branding has to be. Or the old way of learning copy, where you kind of were forced to become Hemingway before versus now, where you just need to learn kind of like frameworks. And what these 2 things have done, if they have done their job correctly, is that they have removed beliefs that you had about the world that you before, and have installed new beliefs in you, which It's causing you to feel intrigued about what I know, and it makes you wonder, what else do I know, right? And I own you, and your mind is mine now. Like, you're mine. I have shares in your mind. Like, this is your brain is right here, and I have it in my hands. I'm just kidding about that. But you see what I'm saying there? So that is belief shifting, and that is kind of like subconsciously selling things to people. So long before they work with you, they are pre-sold on your process and your expertise. So for me personally, I do post about my faith, I post about fitness, and I post about psychology or stuff that I'm learning. Like this YouTube stuff, dude, I've been kind of like talking about it privately with entrepreneurs, and I already have a potential client that is interested in getting me to do these things that I do with this channel. I've been studying a lot of thumbnails. Even though my thumbnails are trash, bro, but I kind of understand what they need to be like. I just don't do it. And I've been talking to people about it, and I have a potential opportunity just by talking about what I'm learning. And I don't even have the results yet. But because I've been taking a lot of risk personally with under my profile, people trust me. You know, I don't have to be Mr. Beast to sell them things like that. See what I'm saying? So the next part is, once you have an audience, dude, it's networking, right? So it's not just about building a bunch of followers or a bunch of friends on Facebook and then not saying hi. It's about building a community. So the way you want to interact there is like, you want to be the way you are offline, you want to be that way online. So what I'm saying is, every time they post something, if you're interested about it, like and comment, drop them a genuine compliment, reply to the stories, be curious. And like I said, right, if you kind of like understand what kind of hobbies give you energy, you are going to start attracting people like that, and it's going to be super easy. Like right now, if somebody starts speaking about productivity and mindset, oh bro, that is like offering crack to a crack addict for me. Like, I just love that stuff, and I would just go and comment and be the best friends of that person on that moment forward. And that's how I bond with people, right? So your job here, as you do it consistently, and this is something that you have to do every single day for at least 3 months to actually see results, but it's like 2 or 3 connection sessions a week. So every single day, try to make a connection and then have like a quick call with them, or you introduce yourself, and it's just about finding out how you can more what they are doing, what they're working on. And what you will notice is, like, if you're genuine about this stuff, it's like the topic of business naturally comes on to the plate. You know, if you kind of like are curious about them, they will be curious about you. It's like, to become interesting, be interested, right? This is how I built dozens of connections that want like send me leads, or they want work done for them, and it's that simple. Now, this right here is like, what would I sell? So the way I think about selling things as a copywriter is that you don't need to dig a well and maybe find water. You know how when you dig wells, you're going down, 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 and you have the chances that you're going to find water or maybe not, right? The way you want to do it is like, you need to tap into strong currents of water. So analyze trends, see where the market's going, see where the copy demands are, and there's where you're gonna go. So no SEO, no blogs, no website copy, because those things, dude, there might be people that need them. I just don't see them. I just don't see copywriters making 6 figures doing that stuff. Or maybe there are, I just haven't met them yet. But like, dude, I just don't see them. It's mostly around emails, ads, scripts, VSLs, sales letters, something like that. But the way I will look at something and decide to sell it is, it gets a lot of ad spend, it's needed a lot, and it's currently in high demand, and also has high impact on the business. So one of my services that I'm like selling a lot is like video scripts for ads. And the reason why those are on demand is because they get a lot of ad spend. They're spending money on ads, and they need videos, because these videos usually die out after a few $100,000s on ad spend. So you have to like replace them, or they have to be testing new angles every single week. So there is a need there. It is needed a lot, of course, and it's currently in high demand because video is king, right, on everywhere. And the other thing too is like, it makes a big impact on the business. Like if you get an ad to convert higher than the other ones that they were running, bro, like, you're making the money, and then the investment in your services is a no-brainer. In my niche, everyone wants winning ads, like I said before. They want emails. But what I'm seeing now is like, it's a lot of reels and it's a lot of YouTube scripts, like Iman Gaji. This is pretty much how to be a copywriter and how to think about it, more like how to go about it in 2025. Hopefully, I didn't disappoint you with this long ass video that I made, but like, this is how I would do it. This is how I would think about this entire thing. I would do it this way. I would think about copywriting this way, not become just a copywriter, never frame myself as a copywriter, and embrace AI. And this is it. Hopefully you found this valuable, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.